Hey, what's up? It's Sam Christie talking today about Honesty Policy, my song off the Young Professionals Split EP with The Day Without Love. It's my second song on the EP and it is the 5th song overall. So Honesty Policy is kind of like a, I guess an anthem or like a statement of realization. Like when I was, the first lyrics that you hear are, I'll throw the first stone, I'll throw the second, and I'll pick the third for the next guy in line. I actually wrote that a long time ago when I was younger, and I find that when I was younger I was really critical, particularly of music. You know how people just bash things that they don't really understand and they're like, that's not punk, you can't spell crap without rap, dumb stuff like that, you know. That used to be me when I was a young teen, you know. So I was just acknowledging that I was very critical, and then I say, I'm such a hypocrite, I doubt that I could pull off half of these songs live because, you know, I criticized all these other musicians when I was younger and I could barely even play and sing at that time. So I brought that back. It kind of represents like where I started, and then going into the chorus, I draw it up honesty on my sleeve and I move it to the middle of the t-shirt. That's actually a reference to me making t-shirts and selling them, which is something that I've done in the past and will continue to do probably. I always want to be honest in what I do and what I say and the songs that I write and what I play. You know, not necessarily like that everything in the song is real and true, but just, you know, being honest with myself that if I like a song and the way that it's written, then, you know, I'm gonna play it or I'm gonna listen to it or I'm gonna write it that way. I don't think that writing songs that tell a story is disingenuous. That's like saying that a fiction author is not honest or genuine because they're writing a story. It doesn't make sense. I say we've been tracking or tricking about our progress made. We get caught in analytics at the end of the day. Before I started on this EP and decided I was going to do that, I wanted to do a full length, and I was getting really down on myself because, you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have another song recorded or a song done, but I might have, you know, I might have a piece of that song or I might have a lyric done. But I was just looking at the end number, like how many songs did I get done, and that really kind of threw me off. And the whole kind of mantra of part of this song is like the fact that like slow progress is still progress. As long as you're taking steps to where you want to be or what you want to do, then you shouldn't get too hung up in like the end result not being completely finished, because you need to break it into small steps to get there. And I say we reach our goal, but our goal is just a number, and the next goal will just be another number. I guess that's kind of like expressing frustration. This is kind of random, I guess, but if you see like someone like Apple, right, and they're like on top of the world, like everybody loves Apple, how much can you possibly do more to, like, what are you gonna force everyone with an Android to buy an iPhone? Do you know what I mean? So it's like we're setting all these goals, but like at some point you have to realistically say, like, can we really grow beyond this point? And, you know, maybe the answer is yes, maybe the answer is no, but it's just kind of like, why get so upset that you're losing money this quarter when you know you're going to rebound next quarter, and then somebody has to take the fall, somebody has to be the fall guy? That doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe that's naive, and maybe I'll figure it out later, but anyway, that's what that part of the song means. And I say, you know, eventually we become a little number, and we find a way to make it a little funner. I think people lose sight of why they started doing the things they love, and sometimes you can get into the grind of it. It just becomes a job, or it just becomes another thing that you do to make money or do whatever. I think you really have to keep in mind why you started doing whatever you're doing, whether that's a passion or your job or your work or whatever, or else you're just gonna get so lost in it that it doesn't mean anything to you, and you're gonna become numb, and you're gonna find something a little funner. And then in the bridge I say, I draw it up, and is it good enough? And, you know, I don't really know. Sometimes I don't know if these songs are as good as I think they are, but, you know, I still gotta do it. I still gotta make them and put them out there, and then the most important thing is to learn and adapt. And I say, I draw it up, and is it good enough? And I decide that it is. As long as I like it, like, that's number one. Like, I need to make sure that I'm putting out music that I like and creating things that I like, and not doing it for anybody else but me. And then, you know, if people like it, that's awesome, but I'm gonna try not to get down on myself if people don't like it, because, you know, different strokes. I'd say that's the key takeaway is, number one, slow progress is still progress. Number two, sometimes you gotta take a step back to take 2 steps forward. You gotta take those small steps, you know? You gotta inspect and adapt. Number three, sometimes you just gotta put stuff out there. You can't get stagnant. You can't get stuck because you're not doing something. At some point you have to commit and just put your stuff out there, whether it's your music, your drawings, like things you create, and you can't get hung up on whether it's good enough. You just gotta let it go, push it out of the nest and see what happens, and then later on inspect and adapt and make it better if you can. That's honesty policy in a nutshell. Remember, this split EP, Young Professionals with A Day Without Love, is part of my 12 Months of Stuff project, in which I take on a different project every month to get to where I want to be. You can go to 12monthsofstuff.com to subscribe for the monthly newsletter for recaps on what I did last month and what I'm going to do the next month. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/SamChristieMusic for weekly update videos on my progress for the current project. And then, you know, if it's a video heavy month like it is this month, you might get a little something extra. It's a good time. You can follow me on Twitter at Sam Christie for the day-to-day details, and tweet using the hashtag 12 Months of Stuff to keep me posted on the small steps you're taking to get to where you want to be. Remember, if you want to get to where you want to be, it starts with that first step. And you can download the Young Professionals EP now on iTunes, Bandcamp, it's on Spotify, it's on all your favorite services. Give it a listen and let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.